The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Wednesday episode of Running Point on YSNLive.com. Yeah, we're in the middle of the week. Things are going fast this summer, man. Slow down. I do not want the fall weather to be upon us. I'm begging the month of July to slow down a little bit and keep this warmth with us. But that's just not how time works. So we go round and round and we go, and we are here on another Wednesday episode of Running Point, brought to you, as always, by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Going to put them up in the top right corner like I always do to make sure you know where to go if you are in the market for a new or used vehicle. Head on down to Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show. Every single day we follow their lead, and we thank them for their wonderful sponsorship of this show since day one. I say it every day because it's worth saying every day. This show would not exist without Greenwood Chevrolet. They stuck with us from day one. There's been a lot of twists and turns and adjustments to Running Point, but Greenwood has never lost their faith in us and what this show can be. And so we thank them for that, and we always are going to give them love for their sponsorship of this show. So Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown, they're where you want to go if you are in the market for a new or used vehicle. As far as today's show, we got a good one, man. We're going to recap all the action from last night. We have 2 championships crowned with the Palomino Championship and the 10U Softball Championship, both being wrapped up. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then we have a brand new interview where we're going to take a pause from the vault and go into a brand new piece of content that is premiering on today's show. We did an interview last night with former Cardinal Mooney Cardinal and current YSU Penguin Conchetta Rinaldi as she reflects on the legacy of Cardinal Mooney head coach Mark Reinhardt, who is retired this summer after 33 years as the head softball coach at Cardinal Mooney, and 31 of those 33 years were winning seasons. So a very legendary and very successful head coach at Mooney. He has decided to officially hang up the manager hat and ride off into the retirement stage of his career. So we all had to bring one of his most decorated players that he had on to talk about his legacy and some of the things that she is always going to remember about being coached by him. So that's going to be a fun interview that we're going to play for you guys today as well. But let's talk first about the Palomino Baseball Championship. I told you yesterday that there could be a game tonight. There was an if necessary game if it would need to be, but let me tell you, Y-Town doesn't do if necessary when they're playing the World. And the Astro Falcons proved that handily as they came in and they won a very good baseball game. It wasn't one of the ones where they blew out the opponent. Like, it wasn't a 14-0 victory where, it was so lopsided. It was a clean baseball game, 2 pretty evenly matched teams, 2 teams that were pretty similar. And the Astro Falcons / Youngstown, I'm going to just call them Youngstown because that's what they're representing, but everyone knows they're pretty much the Astro Falcons roster. But Youngstown just came in and just took care of business. 6-1, they get the win. And it was all with the tone setting of the pitching from Colin Castile. He pitched really well. 6 innings given in with just 2 hits given up. So That is a big performance in a championship game. That's what it's all about, right? The kids that are able to come up in big moments and and play their best, pitch their best. We're going to talk about that with softball too. There were two kids last night in baseball and softball that stepped up big time in the biggest stage on the championship stage. Castile does 2 hits allowed, and then Jacob McGuire came in and he got the save for the Falcons. He closed it out in the 7th. I shouldn't say save; they were up by enough. They didn't need the statistical save, but he closed it out. Big bats for the Falcons. AJ Havrilla had a big bat. No shocker there. Austin Lafferty, great bat all summer. Jack Lute, we've been talking about him all summer with Class B baseball. No surprise that he was able to get one of the big bats in the lineup. John Callis, big bat for Youngstown as well. Ben Slanker had a big day. So did Justin Weaver. So a lot of offensive contributions and a lot of people that lineup you have to deal with, that you're going to have to deal with for the rest of the summer if you want to try to beat Youngstown. They go back to Texas again. It seems like it's a yearly thing that we're just dominating this area. We're taking teams and we're putting them in Texas. So the Youngstown is going to be heading to the Palomino World Series in Texas after winning the East Zone Championship 6-1. Congratulations, Don Pletcher and the coaching staff. They're, I think, the first ones to get credit for this because obviously they're putting the teams together. They're the ones that are managing them so well, and they consistently do that every year. So they're the ones that get first and foremost credit. But then, obviously, the kids that go out on the field and get the win. Astro Falcons made quick work of the Class B Championship Series, won that in 3, didn't miss a beat, and went on to win the Palomino 6-1 last night. Didn't need the F game. Didn't lose a game in the Palomino East Zone bracket. So, what a great time to be a Youngstown kid, and they're heading back to Texas, and that's going to be fun. But before they do, we're also reminder. Staying in Bobstein Park over the weekend for the Senior World Series in the NABF Senior World Series that will start tomorrow. So our coverage of baseball not done by a long shot. We're going to have a lot of NABF baseball between Thursday and Sunday. So we're not done. We're not done. Buckle up because we go right from Palomino the last 2 days to the NABF Senior World Series. Remember last week we saw a great Sophomore World Series and a great Junior World Series, both with Class B teams pulling out the victories in those, with the Astro Falcons 14U team winning the sophomore division, and then Creekside Fitness winning the junior division as well. So we saw a lot of good things from both those squads, and we're hoping that we can have a Class B team win the 18U Senior World Series as well. Keep an eye on that. That all starts on Thursday here on YSN. Let's transition and talk a little bit about the 10U softball game that went down last night. Finally, these two teams are able to get a championship in. I talked about it yesterday. This 10U district softball tournament has been pushed back quite a bit with weather and all the adversity that comes with delays and roster sizes and commitments to other places. Whatnot. It was supposed to be done. The last time these two teams played was July 5th. So they come back on July 17th, and Boardman gets 2 wins over Austintown and Canfield on Monday night to secure an if necessary game last night. And they go out and, man, they dominate their way to a championship. Julia Putko, all she did is throw back-to-back no-hitters in 2 days. Austintown, no hit. We're moving on to Canfield. And then obviously Boardman got the win over Canfield on Monday night to set up this game. And then Putko comes right back the next day and throws another no-hitter, this time against Canfield. This is a Canfield team that beat Putko and Boardman 2-0 in the bracket, in the winners bracket semifinals. Don't forget that. I mean, this was a rivalry. This was a team that wanted revenge for a game that didn't go their way, especially offensively. In that game, it was Clara Enfield that handcuffed Boardman's offense, held them to no runs on 2 hits. So it was really, really awesome to see Boardman just kind of adjust in the last 2 days and come back and make the adjustments against Enfield 2 days in a row, really. And last night didn't do a ton, but did enough in a 4-0 victory over Canfield. So as we said, Putco threw a no-hitter, 6 innings pitched. She struck out 14, and she walked 2. That is a immaculate strikeout to walk ratio. Great job. That's 7-1. 7-1 strikeout to walk ratio for Putco. And like I said, 2 days in a row that she was able to do that. No hitter against Austintown, no hitter against Canfield. The biggest stage. We talked about it with Castile, who pitched really well for Youngstown in the championship for Palomino in baseball. I don't care what age level you're at, whether you're at 10U baseball, 10U softball, you're in 18U, you're in college, whatever it may be. When more gets put on the line, more gets put on the shoulders, there's a mental strain that makes things harder for some. Actually, for everyone, it's just a little bit harder. Even the players that go out and make big games look easy, if they sit there, if anyone tells you that it was just another game and that's exactly how it felt the whole time, they're either nerves of steel that I've never seen before, or they're lying somewhat. Like there are people that handle it better than others, that's no doubt. But to say that a championship or a big game, one with a lot on the line, doesn't put a little bit more mental strain on your shoulders at all, that's just, it's ludicrous in my opinion. I think no matter what you are, no matter who you are, no matter how many times you've been there's just something that, gets you going for a game of that caliber. And we saw 2 players that we've covered all summer come up really, really big in those moments. Which is more impressive because, like I said, there's got to be a mental strain. There is definitely some pressure put on when it is a championship, or there's a lot on the line. Trip to Texas on the line for Castile, trip to State and Ironton on the line for Putco. That's impressive, especially for the 10-year-olds. To come up with that kind of mental toughness and not be fazed by the atmosphere or the pressure. Impressive. You look at you look at Boardman's offense, and you have RBI spread out. Price had another big day. Remember, she hit really well on Monday night too against Austintown and Canfield, so she stayed hot last night. She went 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. Also drew a walk. 2 walks drawn by Putco at the plate. She had an RBI as well. A multiple hit day for Vanessa Torres, who went 2 for 2 with an RBI. Those were the 3 hitters with RBIs: Putco, Price, and Torres. But multiple hits down there at the bottom from Savannah Chekarani. She went 2 for 3 at the bottom of the order, near the bottom of the order, in the 6th spot. So a great job by Boardman, and the leadoff hitter as well. Can't leave out Fiddler, Josie Fiddler, who went 1 for 3 with a run scored. So the top of the order did good. 1 through what is it, 12? Remember that continuous lineup rule for the Little League where you bat everybody, and now, unlike last year, you bat everybody and you don't need to make defensive substitutions. Everyone gets an at bat. Last year was different. You had obviously the 9 player lineup, but everybody had to get into the field at least once. Now they kind of flipped it where you have a continuous lineup, everybody gets an at bat, but you don't have to go and make defensive substitutions and make sure everybody gets on the field. There's pros and cons to that. Obviously, defense is somewhere where you don't want to put someone in an uncomfortable situation just because you have to put them somewhere. But the offset to that, the caveat to that, and this is something that I've heard a lot of people kind of grumble about in the press boxes during the district tournament for softball, and I'm sure it happened in baseball too. Like, the best hitters that you want to come see play probably only get 2 at-bats on a good day in this continuous lineup kind of rule, because you have to bat through 12 instead of 9. It takes a long time to get through that order, especially if the other pitcher is dealing. And there was a lot of really good pitching in the district this year. I think these 2 teams proved it. Clara Edenfield did not pitch bad for Canfield. You give up 4 runs, you keep your team in the game. She was able to strike out 9 and only give up 3 earned runs, 4 runs, 3 earned runs. I think the difference, obviously, the hits that she did give up, she gave up 9 hits to Putko's 0, but she was also drew just a couple of more walks. 3 walks on the day drawn by Boardman's offense. So 3 walks, 9 hits, that's 12 base runners total. I think it's pretty impressive to give up 12 base runners and only get out of there with 4 runs. That's tough pitching. That's keeping your team in the game. But Putko was up for the task and didn't let Canfield get a single hit. In fact, let's see, she walked 2. So she was 2 walks away from a perfect game because Boardman's defense gets a round of applause as well. Boardman's defense, no errors on the day, which I know is easy with like 14 strikeouts. You're not putting the ball in play a lot. But still, you make the plays that you have to make, no errors. So you take away those 2 walks, it's a perfect game for Julia Putko in the championship. So that's super impressive. Congratulations to Boardman getting the district championship in the 10U division. Now let's see. Boardman is just ruling the world right now in baseball and softball and Little League. They had the 12U district champions, 11U district champions, 9U district champions for baseball, 10U district champions for softball. They went to state in 12U softball. So that's what, 5 out of 7, 5 out of 7, 4 out of 7 district champions, 5 out of 7 representatives in state. Boardman is owning the district right now. They're the only ones that are standing that aren't Boardman that have won a district. Austintown's 12U, who we're going to hear from on Friday with Matt Hamley and that team, by the way. So Austintown 12U and Poland's 10U are the 2 teams in the Little League districts for 10U baseball. Are the 2 teams in Little League that not named Boardman that have won a district. So everything else has been run by Boardman this year in the District 2 Little League tournaments. So congratulations on both sides, Boardman baseball and Boardman softball, for their great accomplishments. And there was a lot of sitting and waiting. I'm impressed that both teams, Canfield and Boardman, played as well as they did, because you sit and wait for 12 days. You know, you're obviously dealing with travel and other things like that to come out, and 12 days later and get back locked in. Canfield had a good game. Enfield pitched well, like I said. So to be able to lock in like that and still play well in the championship, that district is sending 2 teams to state. So Canfield will go to state as well. They'll be in the B bracket. Boardman as district champions will go to the A bracket. So Canfield's run is not over, that is for sure. Wanted to pull up Boardman's 11U. They're having a send-off. I wanted to pull up the information for it so I can share that real quick, because Boardman's 11U is getting ready for state as well. Boardman's 11U send-off will be Saturday, July 22nd, 9:30 a.m. at Chili's in Boardman. They are going to join the community, wishing good luck to the Boardman 11U district champs as they begin their state run. So the 22nd of July, which is this Saturday, they are going to be sent off from Chili's in Boardman at 9:30 a.m. So if you want to see that 11U squad for Boardman baseball before they head off to state, make sure to head on down to Chili's. Chili's, baby back ribs, barbecue sauce. Make sure to head down to Chili's and send off that 11U team. 9:30 a.m. is when they're going to be. They're leaving at Chili's, and we wish them the best of luck as they head down to a state tournament and they try to get a state championship in 11U. Take a deep breath, and now that'll do it for our recaps of last night. Tonight, because Palomino did not go an extra game, it's going to be a night on the network with nothing, no baseball. Or we have a little bit of calm of the storm. Well, what's the calm before battle, I guess you could say, because there's a lot coming on Thursday. Not to worry, you have one blank day, but NABF Senior World Series gets kicking tomorrow. And tomorrow you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games total in the NABF from 12:30 down on to 8 o'clock at Scene Park on Thursday. And there'll be even more going on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, because we also include the Scrappers returning home on Friday. So a lot of baseball coming in the next 3 days. But tonight, you get to take a little bit of a deep breath. You get to have the calm before the storm a little bit, and you get a night off from baseball. But it is not going anywhere, as we have Scrappers and the Senior World Series going on over the weekend in NABF. We're going to take a break on Running Point, and when we come back, we're going to play the interview with Conchetta Rinaldi from Cardinal Mooney and YSU softball, and she's going to talk about the legacy that Mark Reinhardt left after 33 years of service as the head softball coach. He is retiring, and we want to give him his limelight and have one of his former players, one of the most decorated former players that he has, talk about her favorite memories with him. And we're going to do that when we get back on Running Point. Brought to you, as always, by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Hi, this is Zell Bush.
Hi, this is Tom Flynn.
Hi, this is Steve Rossetto.
Hi, this is Ryan Miller.
Hi, this is Rich Sakui from WRS Wealth Advisors.
With our combined 80 years of experience,
WRS Wealth Advisors are the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services.
Or visit WRSwealth.com.
go Raiders,
Go Dogs.
Go Cats. Go Dogs. Go Tigers.
Jimmy Sutton here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Reliability, innovation, scale. These three values are those we look forward to in our business and in our team. If you're ready for a reliable employer who looks constantly to think outside the box in big ways, we're ready for you. Apply now. Help us push the envelope and deliver success. Envelope 1. Take that one extra step.
Winter, spring, summer, and fall. Mill Creek Metro Parks is your park for all seasons. Make a memory in the park. Plan your visit today at millcreekmetroparks.org.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the four words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Your teams work hard and give it all they've got. Well, so does ours, because 21 Sports and YSN give you extra effort when covering local sports. 21 Sports and YSN, winning coverage of our Valley's teams.
Hi, I want to tell you about my Trish Yearwood home collection available at Sheely's Furniture. With 2 locations serving Ohio and Pennsylvania, Sheely's is one of the country's top sellers of my home collection. And the best part? At Sheely's, you never have to wait for a sale. They offer everyday low pricing as well as a price match guarantee, so you can shop the Trish Yearwood home collection with confidence. Come see my collection with something to offer for every room in your home and get it all with free local delivery, only at Sheely's Furniture.
Shopping for a vehicle online should be easy and worry-free. Introducing Merge from Greenwood Chevrolet, a completely new way to buy a car that combines the convenience of shopping online with the personal touch and expertise that Greenwood is known for. With Merge, shopping is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Choose a vehicle from our pre-owned inventory, build a deal that fits your needs, and finalize the deal with our online buying team. That's car buying in a new lane. Visit greenwoodchevrolet.com and let us go the extra mile for you.
Welcome back to Running Point, brought to you as always by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. And the 224 Trax is here. Are you ready for it? Test drive the all-new Trax only at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Stop in or call today for more information on test drives and reserving your Chevy Trax. 2024 Chevy Trax only at Greenwood Chevrolet. Can you test drive the new Trax? We're going to go into an interview now with Concetta Rinaldi, the former Cardinal Mooney Cardinal that spent 4 years under head coach Mark Reinhardt, one of 16 players that he sent off to the next level. She is going into her last year at YSU as a Penguin. And as Mark Reinhardt announced earlier this summer, he's retiring. We wanted to get someone on to talk about his legacy at Cardinal Mooney and some of the things that he is going to keep in that program, the footprints that he's going to leave. And there was no one better than one of the most decorated players that he ever coached in Concetta Rinaldi, who is once again going into her last year as a YSU Penguin on the softball diamond. So here's Concetta Rinaldi talking a lot about her high school coach and the lessons that he taught her. Anthony Hartwig here, YSN exclusive. We have an old familiar friend of YSN, been on YSN a lot, but not in a while. It's been a minute. Concetta Rinaldi, Cardinal Mooney alum and current YSU Penguin, joining us. Chet, thanks so much for coming back to YSN for a minute.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
You got it. We got you on because a couple of weeks ago, your former high school head coach, Coach Reinhardt, announced that he was going to retire after 33 years of service at Cardinal Mooney under the softball program. And we wanted to get one of his great players, one of the 16 players that he had that went on to play the next level on, to talk just a little bit about his legacy and what he's going to leave for Cardinal Mooney. My first question for you, Chet, when you got the news that Coach Reinhardt was going to be leaving the program, you probably got it before anybody else did, to be honest. What were some of your first emotions and some of the first things that came to mind when you knew that this was going to be Coach Reinhardt's last year with Mooney?
Yeah, so it was a lot of emotion. Definitely excited for him to enjoy his retirement and enjoy what he's worked so hard for, but very sad in the fact that, he's been there for 33 years. He's built a winning program with a lot of great players that have come through. So it does stink to see him leave, especially before my sister gets there, because hopefully my little sister Gracie will be attending Mooney. She's going into her 8th grade year. So I always wish he would have got to coach the both of us, because when I was there, Gracie was just a little kid bouncing around, running around the whole time. And she always said, "Can you wait for me? Can you wait for me?" And I thought he was going to do it, but that was a little bit, heartbreaking for that. But he's going to go. He's going to do big things. So I'm excited for that.
You said winning program, and you mean it. 31 out of the 33 years that Reinhardt was the head coach, Cardinal Mooney finished with a winning season. What do you think it is about him and the coaching staff he obviously put together that made that program so consistently good throughout 3 decades?
Yeah, so, it's just like the everyday in and out grind that was established the first day that we had practice. Reinhardt and Coach Stickle have been there for a while. They've coached alongside each other. So when we came in, it was just kind of like the culture that I adapted to. And then I was fortunate enough to have my dad on the staff as well as Wes Chandler. So those 4 just constantly pushing us every day. starting with the little things in practice and then that translating into games definitely shows his record over the past couple years.
Let's talk about first impressions with Coach Reinhardt. When you first met him and you first kind of were getting to know him and build that bond with your high school coach, what were some of the first impressions you had of Coach Reinhardt back in the beginning of your journey?
Yeah, so my first impressions, I remember I shadowed at Mooney, and for the first couple years, I was so shy and I didn't talk, and he would always ask me if I was mute. Do I talk? Am I like, why won't you talk? I was like, I do. I'm just shy, I guess. But I also had him as my teacher, so then I was able to open up a little bit more, and then I got to see the teacher side of him as well as, the hard coaching side of him as well. But I remember on my visit, he was just super excited, super welcoming, and was like, we hope, you choose Mooney, because at the time I was back and forth between Mooney or Ysn. And then I waited, a week before school started to decide where I wanted to go. But I wouldn't change the decision I made for the world. So
let's talk about that decision. What was the selling point that Reinhardt gave you? What was the tipping scales that made you make Mooney that call?
It was just kind of like the atmosphere when I got there. Everyone was so welcoming. On my shadow day, I got to meet a lot of the players, a lot of the girls. I went to St. Charles, so a lot of my friends were going there as well. And I don't know, just the facilities were a little different. I got to tour the Armory and the Ron Stoops baseball and softball facility, so I got to go in and see that. And then just like the other programs too, I was going to go and play basketball. So getting to meet, at the time it was Coach Wilson and Coach Paxson, and then eventually turned into Coach Baker. So just, again, the atmosphere, the people, and the Mooney family, it's a real thing. So that was, I think, my biggest selling point.
We said at the top of the interview that 16 players under Coach Reinhardt eventually went on to play at the next level, including you. From your experiences with him as a coach, what were some things that he did to really prepare you for what it was going to take to play softball at the next level?
A lot of it is just mental toughness, and really he allowed me to be confident in myself. So although I did have a couple great high school seasons, he always was just like in my corner no matter what. Good days, bad days, always just told me to be confident, be myself. And I committed to YSU at the beginning of my sophomore year. So freshman year, it was a little bit hectic thinking where I want to go to school, what I want to do. And he always just grounded me, telling me, Chet, you're good enough to do this. Pick a place that's going to feel like home, that's going to, make you be the best player that you can be. And he would always just, have talks with me, make sure I was, in a good headspace. And, when I finally committed, it was just like a huge relief. And it was nice too, because I get to play for my hometown, which is even better than, going far away and having no one come watch. So that was big time.
Now that you're all the way down to your last year at YSU, you've gone through a whole career as a Penguin. What are some of the things that you look back on and are thankful that he taught you as lessons that you still lean on as a Division I athlete at Youngstown State?
Again, the biggest thing he taught me was to be confident, to trust my stuff, and to not doubt myself, my preparation, and everything that I've worked hard for. So even on, some bad days, some rough days when you're not hitting the ball and this, that, and the other, he would always just remind me that you're right where you're supposed to be, you're where your feet are, and just make sure to just be you. He always reminded me to have fun. He'd always tease me in class. He would always ask me, are you mad? Are you mad? It was like the biggest thing that would actually make me mad. And sometimes he would want me to be mad because he was like, oh, maybe you'll hit the ball today, or, just kind of be funny and stuff like that. He is a really big jokester and has a very good character to him. So I never really took anything he said, like, funny wise or anything like that too seriously, because I know it was always sarcastic, always joking. I mean, I had like 500 different nicknames, but his most famous one was Can Change Up, because I think 3 out of like my 5 or 6 strikeouts were on changeups. So yeah, I've had a couple different nicknames going through, but that was definitely the most
just 6.
That one's stuck. Yeah.
It's a flex. It's a flex, Chad.
It
That's
is.
what it is. When you think about things that you said, we're talking about things that Coach Reinhardt said. Is there anything that you think that throughout your high school career he kept telling you that never really clicked, or you never really got, or you never really understood, like exactly what he was trying to teach you until you got older and you got into college softball and you start to realize maybe Coach Reinhardt was really right when he was saying this kind of things?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was just him telling me to enjoy it. So even on, like I said, and it's tough, and you're just like, why am I doing this? This is awful. He just always reminded me, like, Chet, you're good enough to be here. You're good at this. Like, be confident, trust your abilities. And I think the biggest thing that he could have ever taught me, because I'm going into my 5th year at YSU. I've been granted the 5th year, so it's not a lot of kids take. People want to do it, but I want to do it just to finish my career and I'm gonna do.
5 years out of the program, 5 years out of Cardinal Mooney, but you have kept very good eyes on the program. You still support it. What kind of things make you kind of proud that you are still able to go and represent Cardinal Mooney and support that program, support the girls that are going through it?
Yeah, so any chance that I get to, like I said, the Mooney family is real. Coach Reinhardt is out. It was never, a doubt if they were going to play, I would be there. Especially now next year, since he won't be there, I'm sure he'll be at some of the games. I'm sure he'll be in the stands. And then I have 1 year until hopefully my little sister's there. And then, I always say as one career is ending, another one's starting. So as I'm done, my little sister Gracie, she'll just be coming up. So we'll always be in the game. And I'll always be, supporting Mooney softball. It's given me friendships and, lifelong memories that I'll never forget and cherish forever.
All right, give me some of your favorite Coach Reinhardt memories that you've accumulated over your 4-year high school career.
Okay, the first one, like I said, he would always ask all of us, "Are you mad? Are you mad? Are you mad?" And none of us honestly would ever be mad, but that would instantly be one of the things that would just put us in a bad mood, like being asked all the time, "Are you mad? Are you mad?" He would see us in the hallways and do that too. He'd be like, "Oh, are you mad?" I'm like, "No, I'm just going to class, The second one was, where were we? Let me think. I don't even remember, but he was just screaming our record, we are 17-2. We are a good team. Don't let anyone tell you guys different, And we all just never seen him yell like that. So we all just kind of started laughing because we've never seen him really get serious like that. But it was pretty funny to see him like that.
All right, those are some off the field memories that you have with Coach Reinhardt and Mooney. What about some on the field career memories that you'll never forget, putting on that Mooney uniform and playing for Coach Reinhardt?
Yeah, so I think honestly, my top memory is winning districts my sophomore year. That team, that year, that atmosphere was just so incredible. We were losing, and then we ended up coming back and winning it. Bridget Sweeney hit a home run. Katy Perry had an infield single that tied it or won it, something like that. But it was one of the craziest games I've ever played in my life. Another favorite memory that always sticks out is my freshman year Ursuline game when I hit a home run at Boardman Field of Dreams. He was so excited for me, especially because, too, I was going to go to Ursuline. So it was just kind of like the icing on the cake for that. But no, he was so excited for me, screaming. We won that game. It was a really close game, too. I think we were winning. Then they came back because, they had a dominant pitcher, Jordan Keneally, who's one of, my good friends. We played travel ball against each other for a couple years. And then, they also had a stud catcher, Gia Calderon. So it was just always a good game. But I do remember that. And then they walked me to get to Kayla. Kayla hit a single, and I was the game-winning run. So I remember that. That's definitely a core memory that sticks out too.
Right, like you said, you had him as a teacher as well. What were some things that you thought were similar and then different in his teaching styles and his coaching styles?
Oh, that's a tough one. Honestly, he's like the same. He is like he treats his students exactly the way he would treat his players. I mean, he is just a super funny, like, type of guy. He treats everyone like the exact same. He treated, like I said, the students the same way he would treat his athletes. Always funny, always joking around, always sarcastic. So I really, I don't see much difference there. He was, kind of the same with that aspect.
It's going to be big holes to fill for Cardinal Mooney when they have to hire a new softball coach. Whoever they decide to go out and name the new head softball coach, what is some advice that you would give them on how to try to not be Coach Reinhardt, because no one can be Coach Reinhardt, but to do some of the things that he was able to do to nurture such a successful program?
I would say for the next person that steps in, is just carry on the tradition. No matter who it is, I feel like they're going to do a great job because they've had such a great role model. Like I said, Coach Reinhardt has established winning seasons in like almost all of his years there at Cardinal Mooney. He's put players through college. He knows the game. I would just say to continue doing what he's doing because, in my eyes, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But yeah, I would just, carry on the traditions, carry on the little things. And like I said, I'm sure he'll be at some games. I don't think we're going to, keep him away for that long. But it'll be nice for him to relax and see it, from a different point of view. But I'm sure he'll, for whoever takes over the job, he'll still, give his pointers here and there and talk about it at school because he would always make like a little write-up for the morning announcements and, have everyone gets a little shout out in the morning since, that was like his thing. So I hope that they still do that. Or if he, comes to the game, maybe he can write one up as well.
I'm sure he'll also be freed up to come to some of more of your games now this year as well at YSU. We can't let you go without talking about your last year. Your last year at YSU, you're granted the 5th year. How excited are you to kind of lace it up for the Penguins one last time and to try to make this last year, the best it can be? You've already had so much success as a Penguin, both as a team and yourself personally.
Yeah, I'm super, super excited. He better come to some games because now he has no excuse. Oh, Mooney was playing. Oh, no. No, now that he's not the head coach, I will, in fact, be emailing him every day. I will send him our schedule, even though he already has it, because he better be at some games. But no, my last year at YSU, I'm just going to take it all in day by day. I'm super excited. Like I said, granted the 5th year. I'm the only one in my class who's taking it, which is a little bit bittersweet. But again, I'm excited. I'm ready to get after it. And I'm ready to do it one last time.
What motivated you to give it one last go? I mean, I know college sports is a grind, and even if you love it, even if you love the sport, you can love it as much as you want. It's a grind. It is a lot to deal with. What were some of the things that drove you and made you really want to go out there and compete one more season?
The biggest thing is my family. I've always said, throughout the recruiting process, I wanted to go far away. I wanted to go far, but once I visited YSU, it was just instantly home. My papa, which is my grandfather, actually came on my visit with my dad and I. So that was super awesome. And they're, at every game, even if it's cold, they come, they sit in the parking lot in their cars. My parents are always here, my sisters, family, friends, every time I look back, I always see someone that I know or someone that's there to support me in the team. So that was the biggest thing, is just do it for my family one last time. Because without them, I wouldn't, even be in this position to not only play, but, have the opportunities that I did. So that's the most important thing is, kind of playing for my family, playing for the people that got me here and, just finishing one last time on a high note.
All right, Kat, before we let you go, every time we have a next level player come on, YSN, we ask them to give our current high school students advice, especially if they're trying to play at the next level like you are. Recruiting is a lot different than it was when you were in high school. You committed your sophomore year. You can't commit that early anymore. And I know there were some players that we covered with you at YSN that committed before they stepped on the field to be a freshman. They can't do that anymore. Got to wait. So what's some advice that you give to these new, up and coming softball players? A lot of talent we have in this area. What kind of advice do you give them as they're navigating the recruiting pool?
The biggest thing I would just say is take it day by day. Try not to stress about it a lot. I know it's a very stressful, hectic, and tough process, but you'll find your home, no matter wherever it is, whether it's Division I, Division II, or Division III, NAIA, whatever it may be, you'll find your home. You'll know once you visit, everything will just click. So, like you said, the recruiting process was much different. I was, out at camps in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade and doing all that stuff. It's so different now, especially with COVID. Everything, goes online, and a lot of girls are putting stuff on like Twitters and sometimes even TikTok. I see it pops up. But I would just say, stay positive with it. It's a rough process, but again, stay positive, stay calm. It'll all come. And like I said, once you find your place and you find your home, it's just like the biggest relief. And to know that you did it, the people that helped you, did it. It's such a rewarding process too. It really is.
Kenna Rinaldi, we miss you so much at YSN. We miss covering you, but man, you're doing great things at YSU. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us and talking to us about a fantastic coach that is ending his legacy at Cardinal Mooney.
Yes, thank you so much. And Reinhardt, if you watch this, I love you. I'm grateful for you. And you better be at some games. I know you're going to watch this, so you better be at some games.
Even if we have to roll the screen in front of him personally, we will make sure that he sees this somehow.
I have to come find you at Mooney. I'll make sure you're at some games.
All right. Thank yous again, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Conjetta Rinaldi from Cardinal Mooney and now Youngstown State University, going into her final year as a Penguin, her 5th year of eligibility, finishing out her career at YSU, talking about her career at Mooney and the legacy that Coach Reinhardt left and the memories that he had with her. And man, Coach Reinhardt, she's coming after you. You better get to some YSU games. Conchetta was very adamant that you don't have any excuses anymore, man. So you better get yourself to some YSU games. Don't want to be on the wrong side of Conchetta Rinaldi, that's for sure. I apologize for my mic issues. I didn't even know until listening to that interview back that I wasn't coming through the microphone here. Sometimes I can't hear it, so I hear coming through the microphone no matter what. But sometimes StreamYard defaults to its refers to its default setting, which is bringing the audio through the webcam. So I honestly don't know how long I've been sounding a little bit scuffled. Obviously, you can still hear me, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But now I should be coming through crystal clear on my microphone. But if that ever happens, don't be afraid to blast me in the comments. Be like, Anthony, you sound like trash. Fix your mic. Because I want to sound great for you guys. This is something that I take pride in. So I can't hear it. I apologize once again for I guess the mic issues or the sound quality of that interview. But we're back. We're good. We're on the correct mic settings, and I should be coming through nice and clear for you now on Running Point. Let's wrap up the show after that great interview. No baseball to talk about tonight. There's nothing on the network. It is a calm before the storm because we have NABF coming in hot tomorrow night. I should say tomorrow because it's 12:30 to 8 o'clock. So tomorrow, a whole lot of NABF baseball to get that baseball fix still flowing through your veins. We have the Senior World Series. We already finished the Junior and Sophomore World Series last weekend. So the Senior World Series this weekend, that's 18U. And we're trying to make it 3 out of 3, right? 3 out of 3 Class B teams being the champions of the NABF World Series. There's nothing better representing our area than that. And I think we have a really, really good chance. Really good chance to win that Senior World Series in the NABF bracket. So that's going to be tomorrow. Running Point will be back tomorrow as well. And it's going to have fun. Scotty, we miss you, buddy. I wanted to make sure that we point out, once again, Scotty was not on the show like he is every Wednesday. He is enjoying baseball in Pittsburgh. Lucky son of a gun, man. Wish he could have popped in live from PNC Park. That would have been fun. But we miss you, buddy. We'll have Scotty back next week on Wednesday, and we'll have more of his antics and more of what's on Scotty's mind, which sometimes is pretty dangerous. You never know what Scotty's going to come up with. Also, want to remind everybody when we're talking about Wednesdays, don't forget that when fall sports starts back up and our coverage of fall sports gets in the full gear, Brian Tolnar will also be coming on every Wednesday during the fall sports period to talk about golf. We're going to get golfers on with him, golf coaches. We're going to be covering golf on Wednesdays here on Running Point, so don't miss Wednesdays going forward. Scotty Mitchell will be back next week, and then in a couple of Wednesdays, Brian Tolnar will be back with us as well to talk about local golf. Golf gets started before anybody else. Like, golf is, as soon as the fall sports are given the green light to start practicing and start, golf is starting. There's a tournament on July 31st that some of our YSN teams are competing in. So golf is gonna right there. I know football is the one that gets started on the 18th, and that's kind of like everybody's green light for fall sports. But don't forget about golf and cross country, which both get started before football. But golf, man, they just hit the ground running. Like, hey, it's good time to go. Let's go have a meet. And you have to, right? You have to. If you don't start that early, you're going to be running into state tournaments in the early weeks of November, and golfing in November is not going to be fun. I mean, sometimes there's times when you get snow even in October when you're doing state. Like, there have been golfers that have golfed through snow in Columbus for state. So you push it back even further, you're carrying that risk even more of not good weather conducing for golf. So you have to start early. So golf is starting very soon, and we'll definitely keep an eye on our golfers and be covering golf on Wednesdays with Brian Tolnar going forward. I think the second Wednesday in August is going to be his first pop-up on the show. So can't wait for that. And can't wait for continuing Running Point on you. Tomorrow from 1 to 2 is when we will be back. Thank you so much for tuning in today to Running Point. As always, we are brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin. It's been like 2 years of me doing this show in this room, and I still can't point the right way on the webcam. So it's Greenwood Chevrolet. There it is. In the top right corner of your screen. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show. We thank them for their sponsorship, and we are signing off for the day. Thank you so much for tuning in.